Hey, welcome to another episode of geekoutdoors.com. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different and I'm going to be talking about movies, specifically movies in theaters versus movies on streaming services. Because more and more nowadays, I really do not enjoy going to the theaters and I really find myself watching more movies on streaming services like Netflix, and I'm kind of going to the reasons why that's been the case. And I think this is more and more the norm for a lot of people as well. Because if you look at all these streaming services like Netflix or Amazon or Hulu, these streaming services are continually growing. And then with Disney getting into the mix with Disney Plus, this is going to be even more of a bigger thing. And so I'll go back to the whole idea of watching movies in theaters, which is something that we've been doing for a very long time, versus our whole new age of streaming services, which are not really just limited to streaming because a lot of these movies, especially big Netflix movies, they also have a limited run in the theaters as well. And so why do I prefer, watching more movies on these streaming services than I do out in theaters? Well, at least for me, the majority of movies that are released nowadays in theaters, they're pretty much the same. They're either going to be a sequel to an existing genre, a reboot, or maybe it's going to fall into one of the main categories that are very familiar. The action category or comedy. That's really most of what they have, or children's films. And even though those are main categories in pretty much any entertainment medium, it seems like we get more of the same whenever they are released in the theaters. And I understand that the cost of movies are getting bigger and bigger every day, especially when you include marketing and worldwide distribution. And so I think that is a huge reason why a lot of our movies are pretty much the same or rehashes of older movies, because there is a lot more at stake and so the costs are higher, which leads me to this whole idea of streaming services. And even though companies like Netflix, they're spending billions of dollars now, and we're seeing a lot bigger movies with much bigger budgets going in here, it's relatively still less expensive overall than producing a movie, marketing it, and distributing it worldwide in theaters. And so the main thing that I think separates these streaming services versus traditional movies in theaters is variety. I think that is the biggest thing. Because a lot of these streaming services, their overall budgets are smaller, and at the same time their distribution is going to be a lot greater because they're not really limited by theaters. You can really take a lot more risk. For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool used at geekoutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. Whereas in theaters, you really can't, and that's really a problem because unfortunately, we're going to get more things like Terminator or the next rehash of Star Wars or whatever the case might be. It's always going to be another thing that we've already seen, just slightly different, slightly bigger, but not necessarily better. And I really find a lot of the most interesting pieces of entertainment, whether it's movies, TV shows, documentaries, it's more than likely going to be on your streaming services. And I really think this is going to be a continuing trend. And more of these streaming services, as they're also being released in the theaters, I think in the future, theaters are, I wouldn't say they're going to be gone, but the likelihood of people really going out there to theaters and getting excited about watching a movie in the theaters, I think it's going to be less and less, where you could get a quicker and more accessible experience at home. Even though the entire theater experience, I think there's still something there that you can't replicate. It's just the overall variety, first and foremost, and also accessibility. And also, I would say cost. If you factor in, going to the movies, getting popcorn, bringing other people, it's way more expensive than you just watching, or binge watching all your entertainment here at home on your streaming services. So that's just kind of my random thoughts on this. That's why pretty much all my reviews, there's going to be from Netflix. This is pretty much the main one that I watch. But that's kind of like where I am with this right now. I don't think I'm gonna ever go back to primarily watching movies in theaters because there's really not much there that gets me excited about going to the movies. And so if you actually had any thoughts in this, whether you still go to the movies or whether you prefer streaming services, or maybe you're a little bit of both, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Gold Content Creators Group, where you'll get access to 30 videos plus additional content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators Group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.